Good morning, what is up, bus fans? It's great to see so many new faces on the subscriber list. Sorry I haven't made any videos in a while. I've been kind of busy because as of yesterday, this happened. This is my interim Class A license. I upgraded it yesterday, took my road test, and passed in Lodi, New Jersey. I had taken the course with Easy Wheels Driving School. I would not say I recommend or disrecommend them. It was kind of a average experience, I would say, with them. It wasn't amazing. The office staff is really good. The instructional videos for the pre-trip inspection are solid. The experience of taking the classes with the instructors on a day-to-day basis left a little bit to be desired. I went to the Secaucus yard to do my behind the wheel training, and it was crowded in there. There was 3 or 4 trucks going at once, and sometimes you'd be in the middle of an offset back or a pillar park or an alley dock, and you have to stop and wait because somebody else is crossing in your path, and stopping in the middle of a maneuver is not really the best way to get good at it. And then just, the whole thing of rotating between different instructors and not knowing who the instructor is going to be, all that kind of took it down a notch. They have packages with different number of hours of instruction, different numbers of road test attempts that are included in the package. Their recommended package is 30 hours behind the wheel. I took 15. I was kind of aggressive with my schedule. I'm an instructor on the Class B level for a school bus company, and so I'm really familiar with the testing process for the motor vehicle side of it. And I did a lot of my own research as to the pre-trip and what reference points might look like in a vehicle and how to shift and that kind of stuff before I got behind the wheel. So I invested a lot in preparing myself for it. I think I would have been prepared with 12 hours, but I couldn't have known that beforehand. I don't think I would have felt prepared with less than 12 hours behind the wheel. Between practicing for the pre-trip and practicing all the maneuvers and on the road and the shifts, up shifts, down shifts, and just getting used to the trailer, the off-tracking of it. Yeah. What else about that experience? Oh yeah, so this whole thing with this, until... I don't know if it has to do with COVID. I'm not sure why. It used to be you would go to get your permit or your license, and they would, so to speak, print it. They would, create the plastic photo license in front of you, like the printer was at the station of each motor vehicle worker. Now they give you this paper interim. They take your license. I still have my permit, but they take your license. So you can't use it for identification purposes. Like if somebody was coming in with a car license and they were getting a CDL, I guess it's the same thing. They would at least have the permit for identification. So then they mail you the license, and I'm not sure why they changed that, because it doesn't seem like it's COVID related, because it doesn't take any long. It takes 10 seconds to print the license. So I don't know why they changed that. Let's see what else. So yeah, that kind of opens up some of the mental bandwidth that I was putting into that for my other job and for making videos. So we had a couple of requests come in since last time. One was the child checkmate system. Now my bus here does not have the vocal cues, like the spoken, child checkmate has now been deactivated, or whatever, and I think that's kind of part of the experience, and so I'm waiting to get a spare bus one of these days to do that, as well as hopefully we'll get a Thomas C2 spare, so I can show y'all all about those buses. But good for me and sad for you, my bus has been really solid this year. We had a bit of a coolant leak, but it didn't take it out of service. Last year was a hard year for this bus. It was out of service a bunch of times, some of which was mechanical failures, and once somebody in a different bus, when we were on the road, somebody threw a water bottle at my windshield and smashed the windshield and had to get replaced. So it was out of service a lot last year, but so far so good this year. We have our PMIs, our periodic maintenance intervals. I knew it was coming up, and they did it yesterday. So I don't know if they necessarily would have been doing the PMI during when I needed the bus and when I would have to take a spare. But in any case, no spare, so no special content. Somebody asked for a turn signal demonstration with the sound of the turn signal. I'll do that at the end of this video if I can remember, because it means I'm going to have to go and deactivate the child theft check system after I do that, because I'm going to be turning on the bus to do that. But what else? Yeah, I mean, if y'all have any questions about the about tractor trailer driving, about the CDL process in general, whether a Class A or not, or school bus or whatever. One interesting little tidbit. Coming into this whole thing, I had tank and hazmat and passenger and school bus endorsements on my license. And I took the test to get doubles and triples, which is when you have more than one trailer behind your tractor when you're towing it, or towing it, pulling it, whatever they call it. So I was expecting to have all the possible endorsements and no restrictions on my license, because, you know, there's no air brake restriction, I don't have a manual transmission restriction, and now I have all the possible endorsements. So when I got my license, I saw in the paper license they only have the codes listed, and I have a restriction on there that says M, as in Mary. So I asked them, what's this M restriction? So there's a restriction for no Class A passenger vehicles. And so I guess you have to, in order to, for some reason, it's not good enough to just take a Class B passenger vehicle to the road test and then go back another time with a tractor trailer, you know, a dry van, a truck. That won't give you the Class A passenger. You need to take a Class A passenger vehicle. So the same applies if you have Class C passenger, if you take a minibus, and then you go with a Class B truck. There's an N as in Nancy restriction for that. You can't drive a Class B bus. You need to take a Class B bus to a road test separately from the Class B truck. Which I don't really understand that, because there's nothing, as far as the passenger components of the vehicle, there's nothing special about the Class B. It's just bigger and heavier. So I don't know, I have to do that. But the other part of this was, I was wondering, and I have been wondering for a while, and finally answered this question, what exactly is a Class A passenger vehicle? Because there are articulated buses, also known as bendy buses, but they're not, at least in this state, they are not Class A vehicles. You drive those with a Class B license. So I was trying to figure out what is a Class A passenger vehicle. So finally, I found some pictures of passenger trailers, like it's a bus, but it's like got a gooseneck kind of a trailer, and it's pulled by a tractor. And I don't think I've ever seen one of those on the road. I mean, I've been to like places like Old Sturbridge Village, like you know, parks, recreational facilities, where they have, sometimes it's like a tractor, like a farm tractor pulling a passenger vehicle or something like that. But those are not on the road, so you don't need a license for that. So anyway, I found the pictures of these old vehicles that look like they're from, you know, like the, you know, maybe the 50s, maybe the 60s, 1950s and 60s, of this kind of gooseneck passenger bus trailer. And somebody had mentioned on a forum somewhere also that apparently the military uses personnel transport that is a gooseneck configuration. And so if somebody wanted to do that in civilian context, they would need a Class A passenger. But I don't think I've ever seen a vehicle like that on the road that I can recall. But it's now nagging at my sense of mastery or whatever, that, you know, I've still got this restriction. I don't know if there's any way that I could get it removed. I'd have to find one of these vehicles and somehow take it to a road test. It would totally not be worth it, because I can't imagine ever actually be driving it, but one of those things for the old bucket list. Anyway, so if I understood the request correctly, trying to figure out how to switch the view on this. It's not letting me do that. I'm trying to switch the camera angle in mid video, and I don't know how to do that. Well, I'll flip it around then, because I don't really feel like breaking the video up. Okay, so just gonna turn the dashboard on here. So that last beep was the radio starting up, the two-way radio. Alright, so here you go. Here's your left turn signal. And the four-way flashers. Let me see if the amber warning lights make a sound. I think it makes maybe the same sound as the hazards. Yeah, it does. I don't want to leave them on too much because I'm in a parking lot and I don't want to confuse anybody. So there you have it. There's the turn signal sounds. I'm trying to think if there's any other sounds this bus makes on purpose. I mean, there's the backup alarm, which I think y'all heard last time. I guess I can activate that. But it doesn't work unless the engine's running, apparently. So hopefully y'all heard that in one of the pre-trip videos. And there's the horn, which I'm not going to blow in this parking lot. And... yeah, I think that's about it. There, you heard when I started up, there was a beep, 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 beep. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure if it's the bus or if it's a child checkmate system making that sound or what. But I will catch you next time. Have a great week.